Okay, I'm going to call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Concord Township Board of Trustees for Wednesday, April 4th. Please join Chief Liam Bruno in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Roll call.
Mrs. Luda?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
I am present. Mr. Malczewski is not. Okay, approval of minutes. Connie, got anything on that?
Not a thing.
They look good. They are
Yep.
approved. They are approved then as presented. I'm going to go to elected official reports, fiscal officer.
Thank you, Mr. Galloway. As of March 31st, we were 25% of the way through the calendar year. Treasury balance for the 19 funds within the Township Treasury was $6.6 million. We've just received the first half of the 2017 real estate taxes. The Treasury balance includes $600,000 in funds set aside for specific projects. Year-to-date revenue is 49% of the annual budgeted resources, and expenditures were 22% of the Treasury balance for 2018, so we are well within budget. Just a note on the cemetery, please be respectful and keep your cars on the driveway in the cemetery. When you pull off to the side of the road, you may be pulling onto someone's grave, and it's very wet in there, so even if you pull over a little bit, it is damaging the cemetery grounds. Also, if you see a funeral procession or the staff getting ready for a funeral, please stay clear of the proceedings or come back another time. That is all I have, Mr. Galloway.
Thank you. Mrs. Luna?
I have nothing.
Okay. I would just real quick, since it's public and we've put it on our social media, Drug Mart is scheduled to open on May 1st.
Right.
Since I know there's a lot of people that have been asking that over on Cryle Road. We've had some questions recently about the condition of roads, specifically the county roads. We do have a meeting with the county engineer to discuss that matter later this month. I can tell you that unless that's been changed by the county engineer, this year Button and Hoos are scheduled to be fixed, full depth repairs. And then we'll be talking with them about repairs and other things that need to take place on county roads throughout the township. Frank, I'm sure, will talk about what he's got planned as we have stone and tar bids and crack sealing and everything else. He's got an aggressive program this season as well. So that's going to be a priority for the township in 2018, as it was in 2017. We had a lot of road projects get done that I know people were glad to see, especially like Auburn and Ravenna. So that's it for that. I'm going to go ahead and skip to Chief Liam Bruno for the law enforcement report, because I understand that he has another meeting that he must attend. So we will let him give his report and be able to get on with his evening. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me. We are been busy. Today we're investigating 2 missing trees from one of the businesses, so we're still trying to locate those. We did, as requested, we did a traffic enforcement for 2 weeks between the hours of 4 and 6 in the morning, 4:30 and 6:30 in the morning, and from 4 to 6 at night on Concord Hamden Road. Because one of the complaints was about truck speeding through that area. We did identify 17 residents speeding through that area that received warnings, and we found 2 trucks, identified 2 trucks that were not excessively speeding through the area, but who were issued citations regarding that. We also went to the 2 trucking companies and spoke to them about speaking to their drivers about excessive speed. Did talk to a number of people. A lot of times what they say is because trucks are so large, it seems like they're going a lot faster than they are, that even when they're obeying the speed limit and coming through an area. But we did clock a number of trucks during those periods of times, but they were not speeding excessively through that area.
Okay. Thank you for doing that.
We have statistics. Captain Dondorfer will have those later in the week. We're around 1,700 calls for service in Concord again. Just wanted to mention that April's Distracted Driving Month, and so the Sheriff's Office doing a campaign on our Facebook page on distracted driving. We're showing a number of different videos, and Channel 5 was in to talk on distracted driving. Just some interesting statistics. They said at any given moment in the United States, 660,000 people are talking on their phones while driving in the United States. That the National Safety Council estimates that 1.6 million crashes are caused due to cell phone usage. But distracted driving is actually more than that, and they estimate around 330,000 injuries occur every year from distracted driving and through texting. Obviously, texting is the largest concern. 1 out of every 4 car accidents is caused by texting and driving in the United States. And it's also estimated by the National Insurance Council that 11 teens die every day texting and driving in the United States. Not sure it's that deep, that's their estimate, but conservatively 6 to 7 teens die every day texting and driving. So we're asking teens to talk to each other about texting and driving and distracted driving, and more importantly for parents to set that example. And so we have that campaign going, so you can go to our Facebook page and see a lot of different videos concerning that.
Thank you.
Any questions or?
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chief. Okay. I will go to Fire Department. I gave my report as sort of trustee slash administrator light, so we'll go right to Chief Sabo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the month of April, for the month of March, we had a total of 214 incidents. Our year-to-date is 634. We had 137 EMS events, which resulted in 116 transports to area hospitals. On the fire department side, we had 70 events logged, with 6 of those being documented as building fires. And that includes inside Concord and outside of Concord, so mutual aid responses and back and forth. All total, we gave mutual aid to other communities 19 times, and we received mutual aid 10 times for various incidents. We got a new emergency reporting system, so we were able to extract some data that's actually quite interesting. So 27% of the time in the month of March, we had overlapping calls, so we had multiple incidents going on at the same time, simultaneously, 27% of the time. Our Fire Prevention Bureau was busy again with 2 plan reviews, 32 annual inspections, 8 follow-up inspections, 3 consults, 15 fire protection system testings. We installed 1 residential lockbox, and we had 1 public education event. Before I go on, I would like to present the Township Trustees with our 2017 annual report. There you are.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The annual report will be put on the Township website under the Fire Department section. And I'm sure we'll put a link up also on our Facebook page.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. The month of April, you'll see notices be coming out. We're going to be starting our fire hydrant flushing, or whenever the weather breaks, if it does in April. We might be looking at May, but just when you get home, make sure you run your cold water. We don't have set areas that we go to. We don't schedule like that. We just have a list that the firefighters need to go out and flush. But if you notice dark, dirty water, make sure you flush your cold water lines first, and then everything else will be fine. In reference to a Facebook post that was on our page regarding a smoke alarm recall put out by Kidda, we did identify that we checked all of our smoke alarms that are distributed by the fire department, and it does not appear that any of our smoke alarms were affected. However, we're going to continue checking and do our due diligence to make sure that those smoke alarms are going to function properly. We have a crew going out and following up with all the residents that have our smoke detectors to make sure that they're functioning properly. And lastly, save the date for June 10th from 11 to 2 at Fire Station number 1 out back here. We're going to have our annual safety day. We'll have fire trucks, ambulances, law enforcement vehicles, demonstrations. If the weather cooperates, maybe a helicopter, water safety trailer, and much more. And as usual, the Concord Professional Firefighters Local 3329 will be supplying refreshments and hot dogs and chips. And so it's a nice family fun event, and we look forward to seeing everybody out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Service Department, Frank Kraska. He had a busy day. Frank and I had we had a meeting out on a stormwater matter today, and
Yeah,
so a lot
we
going
picked a
on.
fine day to be out on the
Boy, I
road.
tell you what, right? Just the weather alone.
As long as we didn't stand next to the woods, right?
That's right. Not near trees.
So, good evening. Quite the brisk day today. Had us dealing with some down tree issues, which unfortunately was limited to just our service garage location. And there was another location on Little Mountain Road where 2 trees had fallen right near the intersection of Morley, which we were able to reopen those roads in quick fashion. Early April normally would have us initiating some of our spring maintenance programs pursuant to the follow-up of winter activities, such as cleaning the roads, repairing sod, etc. Yet, we still have a cloud hanging over our heads and snow is still falling on us on April 4th. In March, crews were dispatched 7 times in response to snow and ice conditions. For the season, that brought us up to 83 total dispatches. And we dispensed 3,400 tons of road salt during those operations. Our 3-year average prior to this winter is around 2,800 tons, representing roughly a 20% increase in usage in this activity period. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, we received our final shipment of road salt, bringing our total purchase for this past winter supply up to 2,800 tons. And barring no more winter activity, we should have about 900 tons on hand going into next season. Besides our road repair and maintenance projects we would like to get underway, we have some restoration and ground maintenance activities which will require a period of weather that promotes some drying out and evaporation. This includes preparing the ball diamond and soccer fields for play. As it stands now, they are oversaturated and unworkable. So anybody like the baseball season that's fairly near to getting underway, that's not going to happen. Unlike last year, we were in full swing already at this time. So unfortunately, that's going to have to be put off for a while. And we are considering the possibility of and putting together the possibility of adding a second baseball diamond, which is in the works currently. We're putting together the budget and everything that we have to have in place to get that going. And again, I need the cooperation of the weather to make that happen.
Thank you for your efforts on that.
Tonight, we will ask the trustees to approve the purchase of a new roadside tractor. The new tractor will effectively supplement our current equipment, which is a 1982 model. On April 27th, we will hold a brief ceremony to recognize Arbor Day and plant a new tree in recognition of the holiday on public grounds. We'll have additional details for residents who may wish to take part in that tradition on our website and on Facebook as we put that out. In addition, with the wind today, I'm sure the township residents will have plenty of tree limbs to drop off at our first brush and yard waste drop-off scheduled for Saturday, May 5th, starting at 8 a.m. and running until 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Township crews will be on hand to assist residents at the service department located at 7229 Ravenna Road. Department employees will help offload brush and yard waste as you arrive at the collection center. Brush is then chipped and made available to the residents on a first-come, first-served basis. Yard waste is collected and taken to a local recycling center for reuse. Only limbs, twigs, branches, or tree stalks no greater than 6 inches in diameter will be accepted. Small branches and twigs should be bundled in biodegradable twine or string that can be mulched. Yard waste will only be accepted in biodegradable bags or small containers that can be dumped. No tree stumps, pallets, contaminated materials, or processed wood or such lumber as railroad ties are accepted. For further details, please visit our township website for regular updates and current events and related information. In closing, we wish all of our residents in Concord Township well, and thank you for your continued support in our efforts.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. All right, zoning department, Heather Freeman.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
During the month of March, the zoning department approved 26 zoning permit applications and collected just over $3,000 in permit fees. Of the permits, 7 were for decks, 6 accessory buildings, 2 additions to single-family dwellings, 3 new single-family dwellings, 2 fence permits, and 6 pools. Last night, the zoning commission had their regular meeting. They had a public hearing on a zoning text amendment application. The commission voted to recommend approval with modification to the trustees, and now the trustees will go ahead and schedule their public hearing on the matter. The normal BZA meeting for the month of April has actually been canceled as we had no cases to be reviewed. So they should meet again in May, which is always the second Wednesday of the month. And also, just a reminder, as spring is approaching and residents are starting to think about some projects that they're planning on doing around their property, there may be several things that you need to get a zoning permit for prior to doing that. So if you plan on constructing a new deck or putting up a new fence, maybe a shed or a pool, please contact the zoning department first, because the zoning permit will be required. We can answer any of your questions and also visit our website for lots of information on those items as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Deborah Esker, Recreation Director.
Good evening. I'm pleased to report that the Concord Township Recreation Department is offering a nice variety of interesting and entertaining activities in April. Earlier this afternoon, our 55-plus group learned the fascinating story of a local post-World War II effort to help an impoverished town in Finland, resulting in the family's journey through genealogy from Finland to Concord to Fairport Harbor. So thanks to Mr. Ron Toivonen for sharing this incredible adventure with us. It was truly fascinating. The next 55-plus group gathering will take place on Wednesday, April 18th, when a speaker from the Lake County Historical Society presents the history of Lake County nurseries. Our 55-plus group meets every first and third Wednesday of the month at the Concord Community Center and provides a great opportunity for seniors to mingle and simply enjoy the company of friends. So we encourage folks to check out the 55-plus events. Spring is a great time to take a new class. In April, the Recreation Department offers martial arts classes on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, pound exercise classes on Monday evenings, learn to make hand-stitched baby booties, or take a class on bookmark weaving. If you love world cuisine, sign up for the South American cooking class, and kids will love our Spring is in the Air cooking class. And in collaboration with the Mentor Public Library, we're also offering a hands-on drones and Ozobots class on April 10th. And Ozobots are simple little robots that you create. They're adorable and they do simple little tasks. An e-media class on April 17th, where you bring your own device and learn how to download the e-media of your choice. And on April 24th, Dr. John Foster from the Mentor Public Library will present a class on the 1916 Easter Rising that ultimately formed the Irish Republic. Sign up for a class, go to concordtwp.com and click on the Community Recreation Registration link, or just call the Recreation Department for assistance. The Library Book Club meets at the Community Center on April 19th to discuss this month's selection, which is Dark Matters by Blake Crouch. Copies of this book are available for loan from the Community Center, so just stop by and pick up your book. Our big event this month is the Spring Garage Sale at the Community Center, this weekend, April 6th and 7th. It'll be our 4th garage sale, and these are becoming wildly popular. So stop by and pick up your new treasures on Friday, April 6th from 4 to 8 p.m., or Saturday, April 7th from 8 a.m. till noon. The Community Center is located at 7671 Auburn Road, across from Tri-Point. This is a free indoor event, so it'll move forward regardless of the weather. And be sure to save the date of Saturday, August 11th for Concord Community Day. Planning is underway, and if you'd like to be involved, we're looking for volunteers, parade participants, Citizen of the Year nominations, and sponsors. And the Community Day scholarship applications are already available on our website or at the Community Center and at Town Hall. At least 2 $1,000 scholarships will be awarded at the event. Applicants must be a graduating high school senior and a current resident of Concord Township. Take a peek inside the Old Stone School and catch up on the latest Concord Township news by watching the spring edition of the Trustees Fireside Chat. View it anytime at your convenience on our website, concordtwp.com, or watch it on our cable station, which is channel 99 for AT&T UVerse customers and channel 1020 for Spectrum customers. The April e-Grapevine, which is Concord Township's monthly electronic newsletter, will be sent to inboxes this Friday, April 6th. It's a concise blast of information about township happenings specifically for the month. Sign up to receive the e-Grapevine through our website or call the Recreation Department for assistance. And lastly, Chief William Bruno stated that April is Distracted Driving Month, and it's also Child Abuse Prevention Month. And the Lake County Job and Family Services Department is supporting a Pinwheel for Prevention campaign by displaying 1,100 blue pinwheels in front of their building this month. You can show your support for the campaign by wearing blue to work on Wednesday, April 11th. For information on the Recreation Department news, please contact us at 440-639-4650 or visit concordtwp.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thanks, Deb.
Appreciate it. Okay, that's going to bring us to the audience portion. Anybody in the audience would like to address the trustees? Come forward at this time. Mr. Call, if you'd like to.
My name is Ron Call, 12355 Dirt Road in Concord. I'm up mainly because of the sheriff, too bad he left so soon.
Oh,
Because the speed limit over here south of the bridge is not consistent. If you're going that way, it's 35 miles an hour. If you're going this way, it's 40 miles an hour.
We are aware of that, and we've raised that with ODOT.
Good. The other thing is, that used to be, I believe, Mrs. Luda's been there longer than me, but I believe it used to be 55 on 608. And that probably was pretty fast, but I understand they lowered it because some people were playing badminton in the middle of 608.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, some kid came off of Williams and ran over one of the kids playing badminton. So that, we ended up with this mess for a speed limit. But when you go down that road, people are coming from Middlefield and they're used to going to work out here and they're not going to go 35 miles an hour.
Right.
And I've gone down there 35. I've had people pass me on a double yellow line.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people tailgate me. I've had them make rude gestures as they go by me. Is there any way the trustees, with their power and authority, raise that speed limit to 45? It's unnecessary to be that slow.
We don't actually have that authority. That is ODOT's. The process for that is we ask the county to petition ODOT to do a traffic analysis. Usually what they do is a traffic count, and they have their little packaged pre-study. It's a quick process, and then they determine whether or not the speeds are appropriate, but we can request them to review the speeds on 608.
Yeah, because people are coming from Middlefield, they're not going to slow down to go through that. They'll
I will
pass-
tell you that most of the folks that live on that road don't want it increased, they want it lowered.
More than that?
Yeah, so,
Oh, my gosh.
but what I can say is that we can ask ODOT to review that
Yeah.
and then come back to us with their, their analysis.
Right, because people are gonna get killed over there eventually because they're passing on that double yellow line if you're going 35.
Yeah, people do a lot of dumb things.
Yeah, well, the other thing is too, the fire department's got a speed limit, it changes at Alexander Road coming this way to 35, it's 40 so far. I don't know what you're gonna do, I'll probably lower the 40 to 35 but, to make it consistent, but why would that be 35, that far away from the fire department? Couldn't they put in a traffic light by the fire department, like Mentor does, so that they can turn the light red so cars can stop and not hit the fire trucks and stuff?
Well, I think that's just a function of cost in terms of what we've done. I mean, you've been here longer than I have, and you've watched it build up. I can tell you that we're in the process of a fire station master plan study, and so I think we can take into account that depending on the location of a revised fire station one, that's something that should be looked at.
Yeah, they lowered the bridge, I think they lowered that bridge so that people can see you coming out of there.
So we can see them.
You can see them, yeah. But the original, one of the older trustees that used to be here, Mrs. Luda knows who I'm talking about, he used to complain cars were going across that bridge and their tires were leaving the ground. Well, part of the problem was we had to set up stakes to see him get across the road. He would go that slow. And consequently, we ended up with this 35-mile-an-hour speed limit there. And I feel that it's unreasonable.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. But they ought to get consistent with the speed, whatever it is. Hopefully it's 40 at least.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else want to address the trustees? Sure. Come on up, state your name, address, all that for the record.
Good evening. My name is Bill Kubek, K-O-U-B-E-K. I'm from Painesville. I am a forensic analyst at the Lake County Crime Lab, and I'm just here on behalf of the Crime Lab tonight to speak to you about our issue 4 that's going on the ballot on May 8th.
Just to give you a quick, our policy is you can give information but no advocacy.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The last levy that we asked for and passed was in 1999. That levy generates $1.5 million for us every year. At the time, that was more than enough money. We were able to save and put away the excess money in reserve. But the last 5 to 10 years has seen an increase in our costs, and we have actually dwindled that reserve down to nothing. Our 2018 budget this year is estimated between $2.75 and $3 million. So as you can see, that $1.5 million does not cover what we need. The reasons for those increases are DNA technology and increased casework for that department. There has been a 241% increase since 2008, and the advancement in technology has helped us to solve cases, but has come with a drastic increase in cost as well. We have had a total increase in items submitted of 57% for the whole lab since 2008. And in the department that I'm from, drug chemistry, the opioid epidemic has completely crippled us. And we have seen an exponential increase in casework as well as complexity. So if the levy does not pass, there will be a guaranteed reducement in services as well as a possible closure of the lab completely. So what this means is that agencies from the county will then have to take their evidence to the state. The state offers some services that are the same as us, but they choose to do less testing, or some testing does not get done at all, as is the case for property crimes. And so the agencies will have to take their evidence down to the state. They will also take much longer than we will to complete those cases. And not only will the experts have to come up from the state to testify in court cases, they will not be available for phone calls all the time like we are on a daily basis. So Those are the downsides to the lab closing. The levy, if it passes, will be an additional levy to what is already out there. So it will raise the taxes $14 per $100,000 cost of the home. So that will be a total of about $21 a month per 100,000. So basically what I'm here to do tonight is just public awareness to get the word out that we exist. We are here, we help the community. We are a valuable asset to keeping the community safe for the whole county, as well as some of the neighboring counties of Ashtabula and Geauga at times as well. And basically we are just asking for public support, whether it's through Facebook pages or social media or even face-to-face contact with people in the community. We just would appreciate getting the word out and hopefully voting for us.
Great.
And I can also answer any questions if there are.
When we do work for out of other counties, I assume there's a billing process for that.
Yes.
So there is a revenue generation.
Yes.
I can imagine that would be a question that folks at home might ask.
Yes. Yes, we do. Any agency inside the county is free because it's taxpayer money. But as I said before, we do some cases for Ashtabula and Geauga. There is a fee that they have to pay.
Got it. Got it. Well, I can say that I know from the newsletters I receive as a public official that I know that you folks do great work for the community, and I would hope that our residents would do the proper amount of research on the value that you bring to the community, and that would help that educate them in their decision on May 8th.
Yes.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. And thank you for the time to speak.
Appreciate it. All right. And you can leave if you don't want to stick around for all the other business. We wouldn't be offended, so. All right, it's going to bring me to, there is no old business. That's going to bring me to new business. And the March financial statements, Connie, we have them that
Yes.
have been presented by the fiscal office.
Okay. I would move to approve the March financial statements.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we also need to have a vote authorizing me as chair to sign a depository agreement with Fifth Third Bank. This is a newer arrangement. I think it probably has something to do with Dodd-Frank, but I don't know.
It has to do with the collateralization of our deposits. It's every bank
Okay.
is required by the state.
I so move.
I will second that, and then I will go ahead and sign it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That date correction was notated, correct?
Yeah.
It was corrected.
It was
Thank-
struck out and revised as of today's date.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I will move to approve Resolution 2018-15, the mowing and landscape maintenance of township properties and cemeteries for 2018, with an option for year 2019.
Wonderful.
And that is with
Classic lawn.
Classic lawn.
Classic Lawn.
I will second that. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We will sign these. Here, I'll give these to you.
Okay.
Without Paul here, we can go a little slower. It's okay. They won't judge.
I see. Okay.
Well, you're signing. I will make a. Oh, I can't.
You can't.
I will ask for a motion
That's
on
good.
the fire department PO 29-2018 to Atwells in the amount of $15,000 for uniforms.
So moved.
I will second that, and that is an annual expenditure that that we have in this housekeeping for the fire department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You have to sign that too?
It's right here,
Okay.
so I'm going to give it to you. There you are.
Okay.
And then while you're doing that, I would also accept a motion to approve Service Department PO 27-2018 to DJL Material and Supply, Inc. in the amount of $10,000 for equipment rental of a crack sealer.
So moved.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that's be part of Frank's aggressive road program this year. That is a 3-month rental, here's that, for that crack sealer so that we can get out and get to work on repairing township roads after this very difficult winter.
And then I think I can do the next one. I move that we approve purchase order number 28-2018 to Mentor Manufacturing in the amount of $68,519.49 for the purchase of a Kubota tractor and a Diamond side mount flail mower.
Now, Frank, the last tractor you got, it was from 1982. Are you going to make this one last a little longer? I mean, stretch it a little bit?
We do have a good maintenance program.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is a really good machine, Connie. As you know, Frank had the
Oh, yeah.
crew leaders go out and take a look at some of the top models and determine, as a collective, what would be the better piece of equipment for the township and the actions that they needed to do with it, a la mowing.
Okay. I can read the bids if you'd like.
You, please do, yes.
Okay. We have bids for different types of material. Osborne Inc. Has a bid bond or check. They had no bids for it. Oh, yes, they did. ODOT 301 asphaltic concrete base, 1,500 tons, more or less, no bid. Oh, they had a
You
whole
could
bunch
probably just skip to the
of,
second
whole bunch
page.
of no bids.
No, wait, if you read what
You
the,
want it across? You want
yeah,
it
so
done
read,
across?
read what it is. It's a pickup
Okay.
price for the ODOT 301 asphaltic concrete base.
I see, okay.
And then read who bid on it.
Okay, that was Osborne Concrete and Stone, $49 a ton. Cocosing Materials, $51 a ton. There were several no bids, and that was it.
Okay.
ODOT 448 Surface Course Asphalt, 500 tons more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $60 a ton. Cocosing Materials, $62 a ton. ODOT 448 Intermediate Course Asphalt, 200 tons more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $51 a ton. And Cocosing Materials, $52 a ton. And delivered prices, there were no bid on a whole bunch of stuff. And ODOT 499 Class C concrete, 300 cubic yards more or less. Osborne Inc., $108 per cubic yard. Cashin Ready Mix and Builder's Supply, $115 per cubic yard. And R.W. Sidley, $127.75 per cubic yard. ODOT 499 Class MS concrete, 2,500 cubic yards, more or less, $117 per cubic yard from Osborne Inc. Cash and Ready Mix and Builder's Supply, $134 per cubic yard. R.W. Sidley, $145.75 per cubic yard. ODOT 499 Class FS concrete, 300 cubic yards, more or less. Osborne Inc., $128 per cubic yard. Cash and Ready Mix and Builder's Supply, $141 per cubic yard. R.W. Sidley, $155.75 per cubic yard. ODOT 613 Class LSM concrete, 300 cubic yards. Osborne Inc., $72 per cubic yard. Cash and Ready Mix and Builder's Supply, $69 per cubic yard. And R.W. Sidley, $89.50 per cubic yard. and then picked up prices for
It's limestone.
limestone.
You want me to do these?
You can.
I mean, I didn't,
Yeah,
you've
sure.
already had to do a ton
All
of
right,
these.
do the second two sheets.
Okay, under limestone, I'm going to go ahead and just read off those that did give a bid.
That's what I did.
Right, and I think that's fine. If the supplier and the material is not mentioned, that's because there was no bid.
Right.
Okay, so number 4, 800 tons, more or less. There was a bid from Osborne Concrete and Stone of $20.40 per ton. ODOT 304, 800 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $14.75 per ton. Number 57, 2,000 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $20.05 per ton. Number 8, 800 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $21.60 per ton. Number 1 and number 2, 500 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $20.10 per ton. ODOT 411, 500 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $15.20 per ton. Number 601C, 100 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $46 per ton. Number 601B, 100 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $48 per ton. Number 57, washed bank gravel, 200 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $27.50 per ton. Number 4, 800 tons, and this is delivered. These are delivered prices. The previous were pickup prices. Delivered prices are as follows. Number 4, 800 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $24.40 per ton. ODOT 304, 800 tons, more or less, $18.75 per ton by Osborne Concrete and Stone. Number 57, 2,000 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone at $24.05 per ton. Number 8, 800 tons, more or less, by Osborne Concrete and Stone at $25.60 per ton. Number 1 and number 2, 500 tons, more or less, by Osborne Concrete and Stone at $24.10 per ton. ODOT 411, 500 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $19.20 per ton. Number 9, washed, 300 tons. There was no bid. Number 601C, 100 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $51 per ton. Number 601B, 100 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $56 per ton. Number 57, washed bank gravel, 200 tons, more or less. Osborne Concrete and Stone, $31.50. And that is it.
I would move to accept all the bids.
I will second your motion to accept all the bids. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the reason we accept all the bids is to allow the service department flexibility when it comes to supply and acquisition of those materials.
I have a question for Frank, and that is, there is no bid at all for screened ball diamond mix, infield mix, or screened topsoil. What do you do if you need some of that?
He'll shop it.
We go out to other vendors
Okay.
and quote prices from them.
I see.
Obviously look for not only the best price, but the
Best.
best quality.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is obviously available. They just chose not to bid it for us. They're probably waiting,
Waiting for,
well, letting it be a
The market.
situational market
Right.
price. So that's,
Okay.
it is what it is.
thank you.
We usually get more bids
Yes,
than we did on this year on all these materials, but that just may be a function of marketplace.
The next closest stone bidder is in Cleveland.
mm-hmm,
That'd be Ontario Stone.
oh, yeah.
A few years back, they used to bid prices, but apparently they
Okay,
to their benefit.
okay, thank you.
Connie, the next thing that we need to do is set a public hearing related to the zoning amendment application 0218-2 by Richard Summers of Summers Real Estate Group to amend the zoning resolution tax in section 22. That was, as you know, held and voted on last night by the zoning commission. A recommendation was made, and that has been transferred to us for action, so we have to set a public hearing.
Either April 18th or May 2nd, which is,
I would suggest, if it's okay by you, we go with April 18th.
Okay.
And we set that public hearing at 7 o'clock.
okay.
Do we have conflict? We will have to shorten our office hours.
You have a
We have the-
bicentennial meeting.
There's a bicentennial meeting, then a trustee office hour, so we would have to make the office hours for a half an hour.
Yep.
It's not even office hours, it's office half hour.
That's okay.
Okay.
And then we will have our regularly trustee meeting at 7:30
Right.
or after, directly preceding the public hearing, whichever comes first.
Right, okay.
Cool?
That's fine.
All right. Hopefully Paul's okay with that. It's gonna bring us, we have to, I'll take a motion to approve our approval of the Mylar that is in the other room for Summerwood subdivision phase number 3B. As you know, we have to vote on each one of those because it is a
That's
PUD.
Okay. I so move.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. And we will sign that at the closure of this meeting. Excuse me. Items voted on at staff meeting. That was yesterday here at Town Hall in our conference room. There was a vote to dispose of the old soundboard that had gone bad and is unusable and caused us to not be able to televise a meeting a couple months ago. That was approved with 2 aye votes. And then we also approved by 2 aye votes approving the fiscal officer to open a cash-on-hand UAN investment line within the state accounting system for bookkeeping purposes, really just a bookkeeping matter. And we have cash on hand in a safe that is used for the rare occasions when somebody comes in and pays cash for a permit or something along those lines. And this allows Mrs. Dawson to be able to account for it within the state's system.
Or a cemetery plot.
Or a
Yes.
cemetery plot. Cash for a cemetery plot.
They do.
As rare as they are anymore, every now and then there are cash transactions that do take place.
Right.
Correct.
Future meetings and announcements. Mrs. Dawson, you want to handle that?
Thank you, Mr. Galloway. On Wednesday, April 11th at 7 p.m., the formerly scheduled BZA meeting has been canceled due to lack of applications. On Friday, April 13th at 8 a.m., there'll be a JED board meeting here at Town Hall. Wednesday, April 18th at 5:45 p.m., there'll be a bicentennial planning committee meeting here at the conference room in Town Hall. 6:30 p.m. will be trustee office hours at trustee office half hour at the conference room at Town Hall. 7 p.m., you've just scheduled a public hearing and trustee meeting immediately following, or 7:30 p.m., whichever is sooner,
Yeah.
here at Town Hall.
Fantastic. Connie, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Lucas, legal counsel, anything for the order?
Not a thing.
Oh, well.
Everything's copacetic.
Oh, well,
Oh,
look at that.
Wow.
Scrabble word.
Man, a lot of
Tiny
points,
points.
lot of points there. Thank
Tiny
you.
points.
as long as you spell it correctly.
Landscaper.
Yes, we will sign that. Connie, we have one more thing to sign before I
Okay,
shut this down.
My
All right.
apologies.
thank you.
Landscaper contract.
Oh, just one copy?
Just one.
Okay.
Okay, well, we will be as Mrs. Dawson mentioned, we'll be back here on Wednesday, April 18th. Until that time, everybody enjoy the Tribe home opener on Friday. Go Tribe, stay safe, and we will see everybody in a couple weeks. Thank you.